What's up, folks? I'm back. I'm back. All right, I was going to say that might be a little difficult for me. Having a bunch of whistles. Why is this so low again? Chick. I don't feel like screaming. All right, I'm hoping I only have one volume on. So the top two windows, hey B. The top two windows are North or South Korean Parliament and protests outside the South Korean Parliament. The bottom window is, and I'm going to totally slaughter this. Tbilisi, Georgia. Or Tbilisi, Georgia? I don't know if the T or the B is silent. I'm assuming maybe neither. So bottom right is in the country of the capital of Georgia there. About 1.3 million people in the capital, and they have been protesting the delay of joining the European Union for 6 days now. Well, they've been protesting for the last 6 days. But North Korean president has declared martial law. And for a while, they weren't the military or the police both were not allowing Parliament or the members of Parliament into the building. And I guess they are now, obviously, but supposedly no official business can be done under martial law. So I don't know how they're going to resolve this, but they are at an impasse on their budget, the two parties. So, but I was hanging out watching the protests in Georgia yesterday. And it is, they are 9 hours ahead of us, so it is about 9 o'clock at night there. About 9 hours ahead of me, I should say. So it's about 9 p.m. there. And they've really been going off on the police or the security. With fireworks and just all kinds of stuff. Starting fires, of course. No buildings or nothing that I've seen, but burning trash cans and stuff in the streets. And I already yapped like mad today for almost 4 hours, but so much going on. So unfortunately, I wish we could listen in on the South Korean parliament there, but I wouldn't be able to understand what they're saying. But there's some real tensions between the conservative and liberal political parties there in South Korea. The protests might start blowing me out. I can turn that down a little bit. It's strange. I don't know why it's not in stereo. But they haven't had, what was it? I forgot exactly what changed in 84, I want to say.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor
in South Korea,
and
but
emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover
they haven't had martial law, hasn't been enacted there since 1979. It's just a surprise to me because I've always seen, or, the last few decades, South Korea, being hear from folks that have been there. What a great country it is, and, considering everything they've been through. There has been a lot of people in the streets in the capital city there of Georgia. I don't know. Gosh, I can't remember how they ran pretty late. It had to be 3 or 4 in the morning their time when I finally gave it. So that it was, 7, 8 o'clock my time last night. East Coast, U.S. time. But it's cold there. The police were hitting protesters with just soaking them with like handheld water cannons. And it didn't seem to faze them. I thought, yeah, that's pretty crazy. It'd be being soaked. Tear gas, if you got and a lot of these folks do have gas masks. It's crazy. But yeah, being soaked and out in the cold is a tough one to deal with. I don't know how cold it is there, but people are wearing winter clothes. I'm going to mute this audio a minute. And see if I can get a little bit more information on South Korea. Yeah, so under martial law in South Korea, the declaration of martial law, there is to be no legislative work done. So they're prohibited of doing any legislative work or government work at all. But they do have the right to vote to overturn the president's martial law, enactment. And so I don't know how that will work with in the declaration it saying that there can be no legislative work done. So maybe there's a clause, I haven't read it myself, outside of that for that specific thing or process. Also, the media is all restricted and controlled by the military under martial law. So, and that there is to be no strikes, worker strikes, demonstrations during martial law that will cause social unrest. Though they haven't been arresting anyone yet. So it's kind of free, like they're, if we call them a fledgling democracy or not, but they're a democracy, but these clauses or, rules in their constitution, especially pertaining to like their martial law declaration kind of gives a lot of crazy power without any sort of checks on it. Like, and here I am saying this, and I don't even understand what the full powers or abilities of the president here in the U.S. would be declaring martial law. Hopefully we don't find out ourselves soon. Yeah, they're getting down with the laser pointers there too in Georgia again. It's just crazy. And I really don't even understand fully the point of why the president of South Korea called for martial law. Well, initially, I guess, or the only thing I have seen on that aspect is that it's because it's been months-long protests by the medical community, or strikes, I should say. And that there hasn't been, they're in gridlock as far as coming to a budget agreement, the two ruling parties there. So this is and there's 2,500 U.S. troops there helping to protect the the South Korean North Korean border, right? And though, I don't see where that's going to be a concern or an issue unless, I mean, you could see Kim Jong maybe trying to take advantage of the unrest, certainly. And we wouldn't want, like, U.S. troops caught off guard with only 2,500 of them there, right? And obviously South Korea has a standing army as well, but we're seeing so many things with leaders being the issue around the world, not just social concerns, right, or human rights concerns. Well, maybe that being the ultimate underlying pushback against so many of these world leaders. But like in Romania now, there's the recent elections are not being accepted because, basically they're being hijacked. The elections there are basically being hijacked by Russia or by Putin. It sucks that this isn't any. Yeah, that's the best quality I got for that shot, but. All right. Sorry, I had to turn that down just a little bit. Holy. So we see there the military moving in. Oops. Gosh, it's been a while since I've been at this. Let's undo that one. The stormtroopers are moving in. This is crazy. I mean, so far there doesn't look like they're staging. I mean, we've seen it enough recently here in the States. And again, under martial law in South Korea, the media is subject to the military, whatever exactly that means. I'm guessing if they tell them there's no broadcasting, no filming or whatever, or maybe just restricting them from, or also restricting them from certain areas, or wow, there is a lot of police buses out there. Holy. Yeah, they're not messing around. Wow. Well, I can't help but keep thinking that it seems pretty extreme for the president to declare martial law over not being able to come to a budget agreement and or these the medical workers being on strike. I doubt that they were causing any serious like vandalism or anything like that. I can't be sure, but I haven't heard anything on that, and it certainly hasn't been like concerned with that. See, now we got shit going down. Now there's folks standing in front of the military vehicles in protest. Yeah. Alright, so I had to get that other window up there, back up there. And yeah, I get quite a lot doing these at times, doing these protest streams because I'm always looking around. All right. We froze. It'll come back. There we are. Yeah, there's always, I mean, I don't know how much folks around the world pay attention to politics and social issues around the world, but there's always stuff going on, right? But it seems to be pretty intense in a lot of places right now, especially with the Russian-Ukraine war, all the different fronts that Israel is fighting on. Now the movement from the resistance in Syria. I think Putin was telling me something about Bosnia or Kosovo yesterday, but I can't remember what he's saying about that. Yeah, a lot going on. But this thing with the Georgia protests are, again, it's because, or the main reason, I'm sure there are other issues as well, but the main reason is because their government delayed their admittance into, or applying or something, like put a 5-week delay on joining the European Union. I'm not sure why that is, other than the leaders there, or the party in power is probably somewhat pro-Putin, or is. I'm just saying, because I don't pretend to know exactly who's being propped up by who there, right? So that's not necessarily that outrageous. They're just big it's been pretty intense protests and large. But this thing in this martial law in South Korea is pretty crazy. I mean, especially we've just a couple hours in, and we've seen all these police and military vehicles take to the streets. Protesters already, facing down military armored vehicles. See, now I wonder if this guy on this platform truck here is if he's a citizen protester, if he's a mouthpiece for the government. Okay, my guess is he's got to be a mouthpiece for the government. I suppose I can't. Maybe it's not fair for me to say that, but and you have to think that with all this police and military presence, that they're probably going to start to try to get some sort of control over the situation, I guess. Say it doesn't really. Oh, there goes that feed. Anyways, doesn't really look like there's a lot happening in the chambers there in the South Korean Parliament. And now we see more and more folks kind of congregating there on the steps just inside the Parliament doors. Bill, what's up, brother? Bill says South Korean Parliament overturned the president's martial law, so it seems like calm may return. Is that why that feed just ended? I didn't have... So they were able to vote then, Bill? I had read just a little bit from the Washington Post listed, some of the articles in the martial law declaration, and there was some question about whether they were able to do any sort of government business. But like you said, they do have it written in there that they're able to vote to overturn any martial law declaration or enactment by the sitting president. So, well, that is good because, yeah, it seemed a little extreme, didn't it, Bill? So it's still odd, right? It's still something they're going to have to deal with. But I do believe it was. The president was even getting pushback from inside his own party. Simple majority to overturn. CNN 40 minutes ago. Thanks, brother. I appreciate the support. Yeah. So, but like getting back to the reasons he even enacted martial law for this short amount of time was supposedly because of medical community strikes and an impasse in the government to come together on a budget. And those seem like pretty weak. Well, I don't know. It's very hard for me to make judgment to say, well, here in America anyways anymore. But those seem like pretty weak reasons for sure. I mean, unless things were just out of control, but that doesn't seem that was the case. So I wonder what happens next then. They just go back to business as usual and continue to try and hammer out a budget. Supposedly the medical workers striking was because the government was allowing more students to train in the medical field, so maybe it's already a really hard it's very hard to find work in that area, I guess. Yeah, Bill says it's a power grab. President Yoon is a right winger with less than 30% approval. They were looking to impeach him. Yeah, it's definitely sketchy. I agree. And other than the parliament being able to vote to overturn the martial law, some of those martial law declarations are pretty crazy, aren't they? Like being able to control the media and stuff. Yeah. You have to wonder, Bill, just how right? What's old Trumpy gonna do? Is he gonna call up the National Guard and seriously start trying to hunt down and deport folks that are here illegally? Jeez. Yeah, it's just a lot. It's crazy. Where you get this shit on? To be honest with you, wait another 48 days to see how things are gonna start rolling is a bunch of crap. Yeah, I know the race was, and he just was elected not that long ago, right, Bill? The President Yoon, last year possibly? Year before? I want to say Canada has. I want to say Canada has elections coming up. And Russia. I believe Russia's supposed to have an election, right? Sometime in March or April of 2025. Just saying, for little fodder. Sheesh, this is going to be a day. It already has been. Bill's still working on like 10 o'clock morning-ish. Random says, and Random just for a little background so we know where he's talking about, is in Canada, and he says his elections there are October of next year, so October 2025, unless trying to figure out how to pronounce it, Palavre, it's probably French, can get a vote of no confidence going. So it could happen before that, I'm assuming, is what you're saying. How long's Trudeau been in power now, or been in power? God, I gotta stop saying it that way. It's ridiculous. Poilievre. Poilievre. Gotcha. Why is it spelled Poilievre then? Poilievre. 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 9 years. So, but thank you. So he's kind of been through that once or twice before, right? I don't know about an actual vote of no confidence, but he's always been, I mean, you guys are pretty about as divided there as anyone, I suppose. Yes? Like here in America, like your vote, your turnouts or your elections are very close, or Poilievre. Poilievre, B. Poilievre. 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 Pierre Poilievre. See, I can say Pierre. I can pronounce Pierre. This has been a really good day for me. I have got to speak a little bit of German with Nosy earlier. Now Random's teaching me French. Does Canada basically have their own kind of version or take on French, kind of like America does with English, or not that sloppy? Yole won by less than. Why did I keep saying Yoon? Isn't it Yoon, or am I thinking of the opposition party leader, Bill? Bill says Yole won by. Jesus Christ! Now I'm gonna have to try to learn to pronounce that. Yole won by less than 1% in March of 2022. So it was 2 years ago, or a little over 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I guess. Apparently tried to order investigations in his opposing political party's members. A lot of parallels to what U.S. is about to experience. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if you caught. I didn't really get going on it, Bill, just because we didn't. We just spent time yapping. But yeah, I did a stream earlier this morning and talked a little bit about the craziness of Kash Patel. Random says the majority of Canadians want Trudeau gone. The last election, he didn't get the popular vote. However, Trudeau got the majority of ridings. I take it you're right. I'm busy enough, so I don't feel guilty. But when I don't know some of these things, especially about our, bestest friend neighbor there, Canada, you suck. But so is this majority riding similar to our electoral college? Random says, personally, I can understand some written French even though I can't speak or read it. Well, it's required, right, in school there? How can you understand some written French if you can't read it? Right, like how each state has a certain number of electoral votes. I gotcha. Or that's what I'm assuming you mean by seats, our electoral votes. I speak very little French. All the French I know has to do with food, I believe, and maybe adult topics. I don't know, but like pâte de jus and ménage à trois. It's afternoon. It's pretty unpatriotic, Random. What's your national language there? Official language is it French? It's not required to take French, at least not where you're at. I'm surprised you wouldn't know. And I mean, I could be remembering wrong. I thought I heard something about that, though, but I could be wrong. Yeah, right on. Says Random knows what some French words mean, and it's easy to guess on some because they are similar to English words. Oh, the national languages are English and French officially? You speak English? I try. God, who was the French television chef I used to watch all the time? Jacques something or other. He was he worked with Julia Childs for a long time. I can't eat some of that. I couldn't eat some of that stuff. Like frogwa. Is it like duck liver or some shit? Bill says now we just need the Russian people to step up. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Ukraine needs a... Trying hard to watch my mouth. Ukraine needs a freaking break. They really do. I mean, God, how is anybody just... And it's the same... I can't even think or speak about what's going on in Gaza and the West Bank now. Again, humans suck and the fucking UN is useless. And America sucks too. Just to be quite honest, this is a bunch of bullshit that we haven't just... And even myself, why am I not up in arms or screaming? Maybe because it wouldn't make... I don't know. It's fucking disgusting on a level I don't think I can recall, what's happened, what Israel's done. It's and having to feel like you have to fucking defend what you're saying by, saying, yeah, nobody in their right mind supports Hamas and terrorism. What does that have to do with these these kids and mothers being bombed everywhere every time they take a turn. Go here, go there. No hospitals, no food, no water, no place to go to the bathroom, no place to sleep. The only thing they have in Gaza right now is bombs falling on them. It's killing me, you guys. Random says French Canadian is different from France French. There's a different way of pronouncing words between the two. Yeah, like America's version of English, I guess. In Australia as well. And yeah, there's a lot of different, what would we call that, dialects. So a French Canadian speaking English sounds different than a France French speaking. Bill says, to me it looks like Biden got a Gaza ceasefire, so the belligerent just said, okay, let's go to Syria, everybody. Right. Yeah. Yeah, but did he get a ceasefire? I mean, what is that? I swear I just seen yesterday that Israel was still raising hell in Gaza. Maybe it wasn't, though. Maybe, they're bombing the shit out of everywhere over there, so could have been in Lebanon that I was seeing, but yeah, Bill, I agree. That's a positive. I mean, without a doubt, if they can stop shooting each other for however long, that'd be great. Good afternoon to you, Darlene. I hope you're staying warm up there. Anybody who's seen the Chud chat in the last hour? More than an hour now, them just going off on fucking weird LARP thing. Jesus. Oops, what'd I do there? Hey, I'm going to leave you guys with this for a second. I will be right back.
안 계셨습니다. 왜 담배를 없어? 아까 없었어. 저 이거 어차피 못 갖고 가서. 아 이거 나중에 근데 저도 이거 못 갖고 가서 이거. 사무실에 놔야 되는데. 저기 라이트 한 번만.
Aaron's Cyber Monday sale is on, with up to 40% off select products at aarons.com and in store. Choose from big brands and make small payments to stretch your budget. Cyber Monday is better at Aaron's.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Hi, my check engine light's on.
Let's see what our free fix finder service says. And if you need help, we can refer you to a shop.
That's an easy fix.
제 생각에 아침 돼도 못 들어갈 가능성이 좀 있진 않습니까? 예, 앞에 가보셔야 되고. 제 생각에는 해제하더라도 그것도 전속이 찍을 것 같은 느낌이 들어가지고. 그거 하자마자 전속한테 저는 빨리 그림 달라고.
I'm back. Those fucking pop-ups. Ads are a bunch of shit. Patty Whackers, what's up, sister? It's good to see you. Patty says maybe Americans should riot when Trump declares martial law. Just might. If he doesn't have a really good... Well, I talked about that, I think, right before the election or right after. He's going to need a really good reason. Or, yeah, America isn't going to go for it. And I can't see him having a really good reason. Random says, I have a feeling if Trump did something like that, the men and women of the U.S. military would be pretty divided. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I've made a pretty strong statement, and obviously I can't speak for anyone ultimately but myself, but I can tell you what, I've had military, current and former military tell me that they would never turn their guns on their fellow American citizens, so that's what I'm standing with. But there's no doubt, Random, that Trump would have some supporters inside the military. Obviously, we've seen it with General Flynn. Bill says if Donald declares martial law, it's the end of the republic, as they are so fond of saying they'll be the only ones, one power all from D.C., right? in a war zone, the soldiers fight for each other as brothers. If they were given operations on home soil, I think the context would matter a lot, for sure. Yeah, that's our biggest. I think Trump, the biggest threat with Trump, in my opinion, is how much chaos he can create, right? How much destabilization he can cause, how much he can fracture and crack and break our system, our democracy. I don't know, break is the right word. Like, nobody is becoming a dictator without the military, right? So there's that. That's really, that's going to be ultimately, or would be, hopefully that it doesn't come to that. That's our last defense. That's America's democracy, constitutional republic last defense, is that the military won't have anything to do with propping up a dictator, Trump. And he's going to have, again, he's going to have to, going to have really solid reasons that maybe even a lot of us would agree with. Shit would have to be really out of hand for martial law to be enacted. And it's not going to happen. Isn't going to get the kind of support that it would take, with a concern or a reason being rounding up illegals, right? Yeah, and to your comment earlier, Random, or a minute ago, about the lasers. Yeah, I thought that same thing. It's like, and I'm sure all the police that are, or security or whatever, that are in I guess that's the Parliament building or the Capitol building there. Probably have face shields or darkened face shields or whatever, but still. Fred, what's up, my brother? Fred says, what's happening over there? Well, right now we're just looking at Tbilisi. God, I can't pronounce it. We are looking at the capital city of Georgia, the country Georgia. And they are protesting their government delaying their acceptance or their membership into the EU. I don't know where that stands exactly, like if they've been accepted and now it's just up to them. The last step is for their government to approve, whatever. But it's been delayed. So that's why they're protesting in Georgia. What was it? I want to say there was another reason too, but yeah, then we were watching South Korea too, the very short-lived martial law that happened. These ads are going to kill me. Yeah, that sucks. Get that on there. Yeah, this is day 6 for the Georgian protests. That's Georgia there, right? New right-wing president. They're canceled the vote to enter the EU. Thanks, Bill, for clearing that up for me. I don't know why, Bill, am I right though? Did I hear right about about it being some sort of 5-week delay? The vote canceling? Yeah, he's another one that's probably a Putin pawn, right? Random says the last time Georgia acted up, the Russians went in and sorted it out. I can't imagine Putin will be happy about. Well, that's to, yeah, like what Bill said. It's the elections there have been sketchy at best. P-Dub says, according to the Trump team, they are going to declare martial law immediately so they can round up immigrants, right? Or migrants. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out for him. I mean, President Trump would absolutely have the authority to enact martial law, but he's going to have a really good damn reason, or he's going to be, America's just going to laugh at him. I mean, it's. We'll see how completely delusional he is, Patty, for sure. Fred says Georgia is a Putin puppet. Well, their current leader is, for sure. And I'm sure other members of the government. And he probably, just like a lot of Eastern European countries, there are folks that are Putin supporters for whatever reason. Just like there are Americans that are Trump supporters for whatever reason, right? If you guys see me duck out for a minute here and there, I'm fixing myself some lunch. I ate at about 6:30 this morning. And it is now 1:30 or almost, so. I'm going to look really silly if I get this wrong, but Darlene asks if doesn't Trump need Congress's approval for martial law? No, I do not believe he does. Forgive me if I start singing the Don't Burn Your Food song. Don't burn your food, don't forget about your food. The oven's on with your food in it. It's only going to be about 6 minutes. Don't burn your food, don't burn your food. TV2, don't burn your food. Pretty cool light show, though. Yeah, Bill makes a good point there. So, no, he confirms what I thought, was pretty sure of that. No, it's an executive power. But even if he did need Congress's approval right now, well, come January 20th, Trump will have all the approval from Congress and the Senate that he would need. Sadly. Yeah, exactly, Fred. Fred says he has to have a valid reason. Well, valid is the definition of valid is debatable, right? Well, it would be in Trump's eyes, right? Most of us have a pretty similar idea what valid would mean, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not likely that something is going to happen in America that we would most of us would see as valid for martial law. I mean, when you look at what happened in 2020 with the protests, it was crazy and it was intense, but it was never really like there. Of course, there was times where it was out of hand with the vandalism, where it took time for the police to gain control of some city, blocks basically of cities. And I'm not like trying to minimize that, but it was nowhere near a threat to our national security or our country's, security, our communities, right? Don't burn your food, don't burn your food. TV2, don't burn your food. The oven's hot, it won't take long. Fred says basically the military and the civilians, if the military follows orders and the civilians don't protest or riot, right? That's something I need to look up too, is I don't know how many National Guard members we have nationwide. Yeah. Well, that's exactly it, Bill. Bill says one cop kneeling on one colored fellow's neck could create the disruption Donald thinks he needs. That hope happens almost every day here. Exactly. I can see him like encouraging the exact things that they speak against, right? That the Republicans speak against, to create havoc. Without a doubt, brother. I think you're right on that one. Don't burn your food. Don't burn your food. It's only going to take about another 3 minutes. Well, unlike the J6ers, I hope that all of our enlisted and officers in all of our branches of the military, including the Coast Guard, I say all 5. There's a Space Force now or something, right? All right, I don't want to be all shitty to whoever's in the Space Force, but hopefully they are a little bit more grounded, better informed than the J6 extreme MAGA Trump cult members, right? Like they were, like the J6ers were the like the Wagner group, right? Of the Russian military. Maybe, but not as near as deadly. Hopefully they stop and think, well, where is this going to get us if we support Trump's fucking, what he wants us to do? I mean, there's certainly, like I think Bill said, it'll divide the military without a doubt if he tries to do something like that. But how it would all go, it's very, yeah. It sucks kind of just sitting here waiting for the next 48 days. Random says, have you ever tried Copilot? I have opened it up by accident a half a dozen times recently. Not yet. I think there's been 3 times that I've asked AI a question, but it wasn't Copilot. It was whatever. I can't remember what the hell browser I used or whatever. Don't burn your food. Don't burn your food. TV2, don't burn your food. I appreciate all you folks hanging out and yapping with me today. Wintertime, I'll be at this for a little bit. Though I have to find something else to do, I think, this winter. Or at least part of the time. Yeah, right on. Fred says when you get into upper military leadership, they are usually educated too, and they're more likely to resist bullshit orders. Well, you know, my aunt, who's only 5, I talked about her a little bit ago, is only 5 years older than me. She retired from the Navy as a chief petty officer on a flagship. So it's basically second in command of that ship. It's always funny that chief petty officer is just such a weird name, but those people, that position gets respect, like mad respect. It was crazy going to watching my son graduate from that same naval base there in Chicago, and when it was only certain officers walking in, man, everybody who was in uniform was standing up, morning sir, or morning ma'am. And it depended on the rank whether they called them ma'am or sir or addressed their rank. Like, morning chief petty officer. It's good stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, thanks, Fred. All right. I won't talk with my mouth full and I won't eat on cam. I'll see you guys in a minute.
교통실로 갔어요. 저도 여기 지금 라이브를 끊고 끊으면 집에 갔다 예. 대나무로 지금 알았습니다. 계속 뭐라고 해가지고 집에서 나오려고 준비하는데도 막 연락해가지고 계속 뭐라고 하고 계속 연결하라고 정희 씨 뭐 급하게 나오는 거라 지금 뭐 대피하는 것도 많아가지고 지금 펄스를 해야 돼요 나도. 아 근데 할 때는 그 해가지고 그뭔 일이 있건 뭔 일이 있건 핑핑 끊어야 돼요 지금. 그거를 하고 싶은데 그게 지금 몇 시인지를 몰라요. 그러니까 나도 지금 일단 가서 뭐 아무것도 없어요. 그냥 충전하고 그냥 일찍 최대한 일찍 나와서 들어가는 수밖에 없어요. 그리고 지금 한 가지 좀 확실한 게 해야 되는 게 지금 요거 혼자랑 나랑 교제할 상황이 아니야. 그래서 지금 할 생각 그거는 요즘 뭐가 내 공백이 생겨요. 공백이 생겨요. 그러니까 그걸 내가 뭐 어떻게 막을 수는 없어. 지금 걔네는 뭔 생각을 했는지 모르겠는데. 아 진짜 이걸 나 오겠지. 몰라요. 아 이거 진짜 근데 내가 뭐 그렇다고 뭐 공백이 없고 그건 알겠는데 이렇게 골병 들어요 진짜 우리는 다. 그다 쓰러지면은 그때부터 일 진짜 못해 우리는. 그러니까 그거를 감안하고 탭을 돌려야 돼요 지금. 성빈이 형도 지금 여기 있어. 피닉스 나왔어요. 아 진우 형은 저기 뭐야 그 CG10으로 붙어야 돼. 아 지은 씨 여기 있어요. 그러니까 내가 얘기한 게 지금 티안문에서 끝이 아니에요. 동문도 부르고 다 불러야 돼. 장기화 되는 거 생각하면은. 아니 근데 1등업 됐는데 문제는 내일 돼가지고 뭐 또 뭐 이제 뭐 탄핵 얘기 나오고 집회 얘기 나오고 다 나올 건데 지금 나도 내 집도 아마 있을 것 같아. 라이브 끊으라고 해도 끊어야 돼요 지금 무조건. 예? 예?
Now I have a mic. All right, so we're back to Tbilisi, Georgia. Tbilisi, Georgia. I don't know why I added an A on there. And they're back out with the water cannons. Ha. That almost works. Sorry. So let me get the Georgia audio up because the audio we had all that time was from South Korea. What are you going to do? That's better. We needed some frickin' air horns and whistles. Those protests from crazy Bulgarian back in 2020, because everybody was protesting in 2020, right? Not just America. God, they love those fucking whistles over there. Just non-stop. But that was good audio from South Korea there. Even though I'm still watching, I still have that stream up. But and now you guys could probably hear it again. There we go. And so they do have police out in the street keeping calm. Like Bill said, that things will probably calm down, and they have. It's good. I'm not that I was like stressing, but it was a very odd situation, and I'm glad. I'm glad that South Korea has that written into their constitution, right, or into their martial law declaration, that it can be overturned by a majority of their parliament. So, what's up, buddy? Come here. Come on. Get up here. Come on. Trying to get Roscoe to jump up on my lap so you guys could see him, but no deal. Don't start fucking around, though. Jesus Christ. All right. Now I got both. Come here, you guys. Come on. Come on, you old hound dogs. What, you don't think you can fit on my lap? Frickin' mooses. They're going to drive me nuts. They don't get up here very often. There's not a ton they can get into. Roxy used to try and chew cords when she was younger. It pissed me off. Just fucking checking everything out. Wes and B are back. Bill says Elon is a little upset today after Delaware judge sided with Tesla shareholders denying a $56 billion CEO pay package from 2018. Holy $56 billion. Wow. What would he do with it? Build another commune? Or another commune compound? Maybe hook up with another 3 or 4 women, have another dozen or so kids? China lockdowns for COVID. It's one policy, say the USA, not to inflame things. Are they wearing Canadian flags? No, those are not Canadian flags. They are like a previous flag, I believe, of Georgia or some sort of independence flag.
Easier to cook eggs in this than it is in our stainless steel pans. See, we used to have non-stick pans, but then some of the coating.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I'm gonna have to. I might have to see if I can find a different feed. No, so those red and white flags aren't the Canadian flag. Canadian flag has a leaf on it, a maple leaf. I have the wife texting me, and now the dogs are going crazy. Yeah, weird. Maybe the kid's back home. They went running back down. The hound dogs went running back downstairs. Thankfully, it's too hard to keep an eye on the stream and wonder what the hell they're chewing up. What am I doing here? All right. Starting to have major issues. B says, Bill, that's not what happened. It is, or TV2, Bill, that's not what happened. It is one shareholder. It is one shareholder then has less than 10 shares that brought the suit. Tesla shareholders voted twice for his pay package. Oh, so it has to be unanimous or something? Shareholder vote was 77% in favor, so lawyers sued for the other 33%. All right, darling, thanks. Yeah, she was texting me about dinner. It seems like we're on a food kick in the chat today, but yeah, Mrs. V was texting me about dinner. Like, whatever you want me to make. Oh, did I read that wrong? 5.6 billion? I thought it said 56 billion. Like, it didn't even faze me. Like, yeah, whatever, 56 billion. Is it 56 billion? Holy shit, yeah. Sheesh. It blows my mind, you guys. I can't even fathom $1 million, let alone billion. It's yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can't tell people, like, nobody tells me how many cocktails I can have, and I suppose nobody should be able to tell someone how many dollars they can have, but how many, the number of cocktails I can have definitely exceeds the number that I need. So if you can apply that to dollars, I think it makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I have not looked into it. I don't follow that stuff a whole lot. Like, for one, I'm not the biggest Elon fan. I think he's done great things as far as creating jobs and being an innovator, but he doesn't seem like a very stable human being, and I'm putting that nicely. I'm being nice. Well, you can work that out with Bill if you think he's wrong. I've found Bill to be pretty trustworthy. I thought I lost volume for that feed again. Just reading through my notes. Status quo. That dude fucking gets under my skin lately too. Stop moving around. Making your feet all blurry. Alright, I'm going to disappear a second so I can, I'm going to look around and see if I can find any other camera angles or feeds from Georgia there. Shit is getting crazy though. Holy. This is what it was like last night. It's like it's been this is day 6, I believe. It is now 11 p.m. there. So I'm not going anywhere, so I'm just going to be disappearing off your screen in audio for a second.
Want the effects of Viagra, but faster? Meet Rose Sparks. They contain sildenafil and
All right. All right, there's my audio. Let's see if I can do this a second. Like that. All right, hopefully that's better. We won't have any more commercials, even though it's probably a little late to save the feed. I might have to freaking remove this one after we're all set. All right. Back. I don't know how long I'm going to keep this up. I feel like I'm losing my voice too for some reason. James, what's up, my brother? Hold on. Jesus. As soon as I get my coffee, sit down, get a new feed straight. James comes in, get ready to fucking yap at James a minute. And Mrs. V is asking me if we have rice. We have rice. James, how the hell are you anyway, brother? It took me a minute, James, but I'm back. I don't know if I'll be streaming again tomorrow right away, but I don't plan on being gone so long anymore. Even though I've been in some chats with some of you guys, I haven't streamed much. I just don't like what fucking Elon is. I mean, look, anybody that supports Trump is out of their freaking out of their damn head, you know? I should change that title again. I'm really shocked that Crazy B hasn't been streaming. I tell you what, as long as there's shit going on like this, I probably will be streaming quite a bit as long as there's stuff to stream. I have 4,000 watch hours I need to catch up on before February 9th. I had them all, but then I cleared out my content, and so now I need to get... I mean, it'd be nice if I could get to those 4,000 watch hours by February 9th, because that's when I can appeal to the royal YouTube. Mac Dog, what's up, my brother? Here I thought I was going to avoid commercials, and boy, was I wrong. Maybe it'll be less frequent. Mac, what's up, brother? Yeah. It's, well, yeah, sorry, James. I know I need to change my title. This isn't South Korea that we're watching. This is Tbilisi, Georgia. These are the protests in Georgia. But yeah, the martial law thing in South Korea was worked out. They voted to, in fact, the feed there ended that we were watching. So this is, James is right. There was martial law declared in South Korea for a couple of hours, but then Parliament was able to get together and vote against it. Bill said that it was just a simple majority was needed, so they did that, and there was a ton of police and some military vehicles out there, but there was no, didn't see any violence between protesters or police or anything like that. Thankfully, it seems like it is calming down. But so this is just the ongoing protests in Georgia. This is day 6. They are protesting their leader canceling the vote for EU membership. Now, I read, which is, pretty much in line with what I read, that it was delayed. So the vote was, either way, the vote was canceled, delayed. But I've heard that, or read that it was for 5 weeks while they, I guess, reconsider whatever they want to reconsider, which is just basically kicking, just buying time, because, again, the leader, the far right party in control there is our potent puppet. So thanks, random. Tbilisi. 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 Random. Dude, I swore up and down. I'm like, one of those, either the T or B has to be silent. And then I thought about it. I'm like, maybe not. So I was like, I need to use the Google Translate, audio translate. B, yeah, B, that's not fair. You know I'm not going to pick on you, B, but it's not fair. We don't do that here. You know that. You know how, if whether you agree with all of us on anything and whether it's a man or a woman here that you disagree or agree with, that's not fair. I am not intimidated by a smart woman at all. I married a smart one. It's made things easier on me, her being smarter than me. Maybe I shouldn't have said it that way, but you know what I mean. I love that you guys are heated and can continue to chat without having to block each other or whatever. But if you do that too, I don't, whatever. You guys know I'm not coming in between folks with, not that anybody asked me to. I'm just, there's always other conversations going on, chat. I don't follow all of it. Sometimes purposely. So, Mac, did you catch that then, brother? That these protests are because their far-right leader or the far-right party in control and power right now has canceled their vote for their EU membership. There is 1.3 million residents in the capital city. $24 million people total, or very close to 24 million people total in the country of Georgia. I think I remembered that right. I looked it up last night or yesterday, but Roy, what's up, mother brother? Ow, Z in the housey. Well, are those protesters or stormtroopers? Those are protesters, right? No, those are stormtroopers. Holy shit, you guys. Should I kill that? It's a little clicky, isn't it? That it's because she's yapping through a speaker probably, and everything's loud there. Whoever's mic this is probably being overloaded with all the fireworks and that stuff. I guess you guys, well, I'll kill it so you guys, well, you can mute. I'm going to kill that audio for you guys anyway. I'm going to keep it up a little bit for me. Yeah, it's really staticky, so that's kind of annoying. I apologize for that. I have a hard time having any audio in my ear and trying to relay my thoughts to you guys. I know. I can walk and chew gum, but I can't listen and speak. Laura, what's up, sister? Getting busy up in here. Laura, it's Random's fault. Random came in here being all reasonable and a super informative chatter today. All right. James, do I need to show you the text from the last 5 seconds? I know you can't see it. What do you want for dinner? Howland suggested chicken and rice or tacos. I don't know what we need for either. I said everything. Then I was nice enough to go downstairs and check. Gave her a list back. Do we have rice? I went down. We have rice. Pull the chicken out of the freezer. All right. We'll see if that's the end of my running for a minute. Yeah, that's annoying to listen to. I can't believe I actually got warm up here. Holy, finally. I mean, I started this morning without my flannel, my wool-lined flannel on. because I don't have any heat up here. I'm not heating it up here. I have a heater up here, but I haven't turned it on. So it gets cold up here. The way this house is set up, this is the very last room on the upper floor away from the heat source. So but right away this morning when I first sat down here, I had just gotten out of the shower and I had a fresh cup of coffee, which I do again now. And I had eaten breakfast, so my body was working and I wasn't cold at all, but it was right before lunch. I got a little chilly. Anyways, hey Laura, sorry I had to go pull the chicken. I had to pull my chicken out, Laura. Otherwise Mrs. V would have been like, "Why didn't you pull the chicken out? Pull your chicken out." Jesus. It's 29 right now, James. Yeah, James says it's 100 degrees there in Oz, his section of Oz. Wesley says, please say what's going on. Oh, is Laura asking what's happening? Their protest, Laura, this protest is because, no, this isn't martial law. I have to, Jesus, hold on. I wasn't Jesus and at you, Laura. I got to change this title. Yeah, there was martial law in South Korea. This is in Tbilisi, Georgia, where they are protesting the canceled, delayed vote for the EU membership. Let me change this title a minute, fam. Yeah, I apologize for that. All right. Here we go. But yes, there was for a couple hours martial law in South Korea. All right, now I got to get back to you guys. All right, I think I got that straight. I have no idea if I spelt it right. My eyes are so stupid. Oh, did Random straighten you out? Good. Thanks, Random. Yeah, sorry, Laura. I had to pull my chicken, and then I had it, and yeah, get that title changed, stream title changed. Patty Whackers, welcome back, sister. All right, B. Drive safe. Oh, you're back in Florida, aren't you? So you don't have weather to worry about. Not cold weather. James, what's your average, brother? If you're still with me, what's your average temperature? I know 100 degrees for you isn't like real rare or anything. I just wonder how is that, and it's spring too, right? Like you're not in your hottest part of the year yet, I'm guessing. That's like here, James, we're not even officially in winter, right? As you know, till the 20th or 21st of December. So it's still fall, and I get it, whatever. It's just a number or a date, but it got we had quite the fucking cold blast this past week. I mean, temperatures were averaging 10 to 20 degrees below normal. No, this isn't South Korea. Yeah. It looked like it was going to get intense there for a minute, Laura, in South Korea, but which I'm really happy to see, and honestly, it's what I expected, like shit to chill. Like I was, it hadn't gone on long enough, but I was really starting to question shit. And there, to Bill's point earlier, it's really still sketchy as fuck. He said that, it was basically a power grab, and it's really sketchy that, but I guess, and maybe I'm wrong, but, I would think that we are here in America a little bit stronger and more stable than South Korea, and that's not to take anything away from him. Like I said, I was really, really surprised because of how stable and secure and just, there's a country that's doing well in a lot of ways. They're not perfect like no country is, but so that was weird. Though, yeah, I can't really say that about America necessarily anymore. So, because look at who we just elected. Quite possibly one of the worst human beings in the world. In our history. Certainly, I said it before, and until somebody tells me I need to tone it down for legitimate reasons like my own freedom, safety, or just plain not inciting anything, right? Trump is comparable to Charles Manson and John Wayne Gacy, and his disgusting, perverted, sick crimes are just different. Is all. He's responsible for people dying. Yeah, Wes says South Korea enjoys USA protections. They do, and on that point, we have about 2,500 active military members there, mainly on the border with North Korea. Just a side point. James says this time of year, usually about 100 degrees. End of spring, start of summer, things will really get hot. Average for December, 110. Average for December, January, 110. Wow. Yeah, I know you guys start pushing 135 degrees, right? 140 degrees. Gosh, what was it in India there? I think it was over 140 degrees a couple days for a few hours or something. Just you can't, that's literally cooking temperature. Laura says, absolutely, TV and sociopaths always escalate, but they can reach a disorganized phase, which is he is currently right. Yeah, he's not capable. He doesn't have the mind strength and the all the things that we have when we're half the age that Trump is, right? Going for him. He's just, I mean, I think it's something I maybe you guys, I'm sure you guys do too. It's like, I'm not paranoid about it, but I check myself a lot. Like I've mentioned to you guys about certain, just being a little bit leery of my memory lately on some things, and not necessarily not worrying about it, but taking note of it. But even if you're doing that, you're still not able to judge how much you've slowed down in a fair way, right? Trump doesn't get that, and that's fine. The worse off he gets, the better, in my opinion. I mean, it's always going to take people around him supporting him and pushing through his fucking nutso ideas, and so that's where the problem's always going to lie anyways. And when Trump is out, or if he makes it the full 4 years, like Vance doesn't try to send him on his way, or fingers crossed 2026, we have the power to light Trump up with his third impeachment. That would be great. Wes says the USA made the demilitarized zone. Did I get that right? I suppose we made that with in conjunction with the leaders of South Korea, though I don't know how that all went down at the end of the war. And now I don't know, is there that, I should probably know this, but demilitarized zone, that means it's on both sides of the border that there's limited troops, or whatever the details are, right? Yeah, the Korean War, which would have ended, that's the war MASH was all about, right? This TV show MASH. Laura says he won't make it 4 years one way or another. Yeah, it's crazy times. And then I look at, stuff like that's going on here in Georgia and think we have a long ways to go before we get to that point, right? And that they're still at least pretty stable. There's certainly many countries that are in a lot worse shape than Georgia is, though I don't know pretend to know the statistics on unemployment and poverty and crime, education, those sorts of things. But oh yeah, Putin he's deeper than a lot of people realize. It's a fragile, however, no matter how deep he is, they're very fragile situations or relationships, right? Because Europe, or Eastern Europe, I shouldn't say, there are a lot of countries, mainly in Eastern Europe, that are fragile right now. Stable, maybe. We've seen awesome things happen with countries like Poland, but we've also seen them recently struggle with certain human rights issues, but right now they're on the right, what I guess I would say is the right side of history. Wes says, you don't know me, you all want to be knowledgeable, you lived nothing in life. Are you all right there, Wes? Are you quoting a book, or I know. Wes just goes off. Maybe he's giving us payback because me and B called him Grinchy West earlier. But this is why, Wes. This is why you got that nickname, Grinchy. Wes, I can't fucking help you, brother, in Florida. If you move next door to me, I could, like, help you mow your lawn and shit. I do it for the 62-year-old female friend that we have across the street. I help her out wherever I can, however I can. I understand, dude. I think about that shit. Even with me and Mrs. V together, it's like, yeah, shit starts getting tough for older folks. I get it, man. I can't help you, though, unless you move next. I'm not coming to Florida, Wes. I like you pretty much all right for the most part, you know. But I'm not moving to Florida. If you were next door, dude, I'd help you with the shit that you needed help with. Wes says he's moving. Yeah. You wouldn't come to Michigan? Whatever. You mean you wouldn't come to live here, like, because of the winter, or you just don't like us that much at all? All right, Laura. I loved you, sisters. Could see you. You know I'll probably drop by your rock solid fucking news stream that you are just been so consistent about. And that's... People's need a place to chat. Laura's is a good place to do that. So I'm sure I'll see you later for a minute anyways. I'll drop in and I'll throw devil horns in a blue heart. Wes says, you kidding me? That's why you have an attitude. You have that Jersey attitude, don't you? Wes, would you ever get on cam and yap with me? I'd like to hear your accent. Or is it, well, you moved, maybe you lost a lot of it. How old, you said you moved to Florida in 69, so how old were you then, brother? Well, if you're 62 now, you would have been, I don't know, 8-ish years old. I know I totally fucked that math up. It has to be close, though, right? Because, well, I'm thinking you're 8 years older than me, and I was born in 70, so, yeah, 7 years old, 7 or 9 years old, one of the two. Random says, I have a hard time picking up dog poo. TV2, you should move. I'm not fucking going any farther north, dude. If I went farther north, it'd be to the UP, and I'd have to be, like, just set where I didn't have to leave the cabin in the winter. I couldn't handle that. It's too much. It's like, it'd be beautiful and shit, but no thanks. That's like Aftershock Phil. Random, do you remember Phil? He lived in that cabin in I don't know if it was in Colorado. He lived in a cabin that was owned by the state, or it was in a state park. And after a certain time of the year, they would close the road, gate off the road, and you couldn't get up there because the winters were crazy, and he wasn't able to get out. And he had solar power and his phone and all that. Man, I couldn't live like that. Not for long. You were 6 years old? Oh, yeah, maybe you said how old you were, too, didn't you? That's because I'm a dingbat, Wes. You talk like a Floridian? Yeah, I don't know. I know there's a little... I've heard different southern... Like you said, half my family super strong influence on my life, who I was raised with. You know, I spent all my 54 years of days here in West Michigan, but most of the family that I spent time with, you know, was from Mississippi. Wes says my uncle's all tailed. Jersey mobster shit. Unions, you had to know a guy. My kid loves the East Coast. He just flew back. What's today? Tuesday. He flew back, yesterday morning. Well, his flight was at noon or something. He's in Maryland. Well, he got stationed out there when he was in the Navy, and then he took a job, a contract job for the NSA, or with the NSA, right? Same thing, he never left. Same people he was working for or with, basically, when he was enlisted, is who he took a contract with after he did his tour. But he loves it out there. There's a lot of it out there that I could see. I would be I would not, I'm sorry, Wes. I mean, I would, if I had time, right, and it was convenient, and I know that probably sounds a little bit snooty, but I could not. I can drive, like I've drove for a living for the last however many years, you know, it's doing maintenance, right? But we've had travel. I've run pretty big rigs. I can't handle the fucking super dense city traffic. I would not. I thought about it many times, and it's like I feel like the only reason I would ever want to go to New York is to say I went to New York City, right? And same way with Jersey. I don't know. I would like to see maybe northern East Coast, right? Connecticut, Maine, Rhode Island, north of Boston, north of Baltimore. Of course, I would like to see DC. Random, I know I talked to you a little bit about your surroundings in the past. I think last time was like during when you guys were dealing with all those fucking crazy fires. So though I know you're a little bit farther west than like what the UP of Michigan is, but the UP of Michigan's really mountainous, right? Compared to where I am here. Or very rocky, maybe I should say. There's a lot of cool lookouts and that sort of stuff. Or you think about Tequamano Falls, and you know, it would be very beautiful, brother, in the winter. I mean, the winters up north are too freaking long. And I mean, if I was set up where I didn't have to stress about, holy shit, we're going to be snowed in, you know, as long as you got food, your roof isn't going to cave in, and you're going to be able to stay warm, right? That's all that matters. Yeah, plenty of wood to heat and plenty to eat, and maybe whatever you need to keep the bears at bay. I just couldn't do it for as long as would be required. Wes says you should know the police have family too. Wives do 911 hotlines. A 911 hotline? Like emergency line, you mean? What do you mean, wives? Yeah, I know if police have family. Is Wes talking to the screen? Yeah, I thought, like, if you are, whether you are or you're not, I'm like, Jesus Christ, some of the, like last night, they were going off on the police, and it's like, man, it's like, where's the line between these Roman candles that are just, as you guys see, full on fucking fireworks, just blasting at them, just tons at a time. And they got shields and body armor and all that stuff, but just standing there taking it. It's like, I don't pretend to know what the temperature there, obviously, other than very high right now, but the thoughts of the citizens there, how desperate it has to be. If my guess is that what we're seeing now is people that have maybe good cause to protest and going too far with it, right? Like wanting to just raise hell, because we've seen that here with the protests in 2020, right? There were millions and millions and millions of Americans that marched in by the tens and hundreds of thousands in cities all over the country every week for months and months. And it was, a very small percentage of folks that, those weren't those people going out and burning Wendy's, that were marching down, in Texas and Detroit and Los Angeles, during the day or whatever, whenever it was. Most of the legit demonstrations were done right during the day. Chicago. Wes says very few kids go out alone and make things better. Bill Gates wasn't even a thing. Apple Computers was a dreamer. Bill Gates' story about taking acid it's always been pretty profound to me. Wes, you have to speak in longer. Well, you don't have to. You speak however you want, brother, but don't be afraid to do a little bit longer paragraphs or posts so I know what you're getting at. We're never going to have robots innovating. AI doesn't innovate. I don't see how. I think AI could be fucking dangerous as fuck. It's never going to be creative. How can it be? How can it be creative? Even if it takes a bunch of information and puts it together in a way that a human never has, that's not being creative. Because it was programmed to do that. Wes says, I grew up sheltered by Michigan politics. Right. I didn't grow up sheltered, brother. Trust me. I have no fucking interest in organized crime. It's part of our history. It's not a mystery. You know what I mean? I don't know why you got to be so offensive, Wes. Grinchy. Wes, it's been at least 5 minutes. Have you started looking up real estate for sale in my area? Wes, I would have you on sometime. Dude, if you want to join a StreamYard sometime, I got to start getting on that. You guys should see the sign that I have in front of under my monitor that says StreamYard in big black and red letters, because it was to remind me to just start. When I stream like this, I just need to set it up as a StreamYard. Then you guys could, anybody who wants to come in and yap for a minute would be able to. That would be cool. We wouldn't even have to have your mug on the screen if you didn't want it. You could just have a profile picture or whatever. Yeah, I can't put my phone number up, but I would love to get a landline. I'd rather do it that way, like a radio call-in show. I much rather do that than use StreamYard. Not because I don't want to put people off, but I rather, when I set up a StreamYard, I want to be able to just have people come in, talk for a few minutes, and go on to another comment, right? Just because I think that's variety is better, but... And also, you can get hung up with some folks that might want to be fucking chiming in every 5 seconds. I've seen it on other streams, is why I mention it. Every time they go live. Got the same damn caller calling in. I have a phone. Yeah, I thought about a burner phone, but... Call it 2TV2 Live. I thought about a burner phone, but I'd rather just do a landline, but I'm not. Then I've heard that I could just be totally impaled with robocalls with a landline. I don't know. Go buy a phone. I got a... That's the problem. This costs me $42 a month, and it almost never gets used. Literally, I just used whatever, texting back and forth with Mrs. V about dinner there for 30 frickin' minutes. That's as extensive as it gets. I probably won't have another day like that this week where I'll use the phone that much, even with her. Well, yeah, that's a little bit steep, random, but there's been 3 new builds right on my road, one across the street. I have a little story with the guy who built that, and now it's got... The dude bought the property. He's an electrician or something, owns some sort of general contractor's business himself. Was building a house. And I can't tell you that he straight out told me that they were going to live there, or that was going to be their dream home or whatever. But I had to go through some shit with them, with the electric company, because where they wanted to run lines across the street, mind you, to his property, which is kitty corner from me, and take down my only spruce that's probably 70 years old. And I'm like, you fucking kidding me, dude? And I thought about it, I'm like, no way. There's got to be another way around. If there isn't, if you're a fucking builder, you should have seen that coming. He wasn't happy. So sure as shit, they get the house finished. It's been about maybe less than a year now, and they just sold it. $370,000. Yeah, I don't know about 470,000, but $370,000 is a lot of freaking money for a house right here where I'm at. You know what I mean? Because it isn't on a bunch of land. It's a nice ass brand new house. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, but it's crazy. Well, but housing prices have increased big time too. Wes says his ex had a bunch of phone numbers. Have I ever seen Dump Star? No. Your house is $350,000. Yeah, but you're in Florida. I'm in like you know, I'm 15 miles off the lake in West Michigan. This isn't like the super desirable place for people to. Certainly nobody's moving out here to retire. I paid $40,000 cash for this place in 2008. It was bank owned. I had to assume some back taxes. It's valued at, I don't know what the taxable sale value is, 170,000 or something like that. I don't know. Mrs. V just told me it's not much. It's a lot more than what we paid for it. Yeah. I always liked Marvin Gardens. I never promised Marvin Gardens. Do do do. Wes says y'all chat too much. If I don't, it's really bad. Like, you ever watch a stream where the host all of a sudden doesn't say much? It gets a little, it can get weird. No, well, there's 8 folks watching apparently. James is still here. Yeah, I usually have absolutely sure 2 or 3 trolls just like with their pen and paper or their fucking camera ready to screenshot or their audio recordings all ready to go. They're just like ready to fucking hammer down on TV with whatever they think I might slip up and say, but I don't have any regrets with my words on my streams. I'm super pissed that I had to remove all my content. I knew that Chud's like, I give a shit about that. That's, you know, if I really cared about that, I probably would have just took the chance and started weeding through shit. Like, God, fucking Chuds, I gotta keep this, I gotta keep that. Well, I have septic tank, but I also have well water random, so I don't have to depend on the city for water. I don't have to pay for it, for one thing. I don't have to pay for that water. You know, you're paying for water and septic. It's usually, well, I forget how it is. I think it's, they charge you by the amount, outgoing amount, something like that. Yeah, we don't, I don't know. It's not like that here in Michigan. I'm sure not in West Michigan, not my area. You pay, garbage is separate from water, and garbage collection is not a government thing here. Yes, most of all my neighbors have septic tanks and well water. I swear I don't ever want to live any other way. Wes, the Jersey guy, says I should move. He's disgusted by the fact that I have a septic tank and well water. I can't imagine living in a fucking city like Jersey, dude. Are you kidding me? How filthy is that place? Not that you're there anymore, but... Yeah, that's about what garbage costs us here, but it's not something that the government runs. You have to hire, and there's, unlike like cable or, you know, electricity, we don't have any options in those 2 areas, right? Well, you could get some fucked up Wi-Fi or satellite system or whatever for your internet or cable or no. For your internet you could. Cable, there's only one company that comes out here, electricity same. But for garbage collection, there's at least 3, I think, companies that I see work on my road. West Michigan Waste Management, and then I know there's 3. I thought I could remember at least 2 of them, but Reliant Garbage or something like that. Water, garbage, and sewer all included. Trash twice a week. Why would you need trash picked up twice a week? Wes says he uses 2,000 gallons of water in 90 days. I don't know if that's a lot or not. I'll bet compared to what I go through it is. But you're in Florida. I don't know if you water your yard and all that stuff. I do not. I could have all the water I wanted for free, which I do, except for paying for the electricity to pump it out of the ground. It's not worth it to me. I don't fucking do shit with my lawn. It's part of the reason I live out in the country. I don't know if 2,000 gallons is... What is that every 30 days? Huh? Like 770 some gallons every 30 days. So what is that breaking down to per day? Do. Wes uses 22.2 gallons of water a day. That's too fucking much. It's people like you that are ruining the planet. 22 fucking gallons a day, dude? For just you? What the fuck are you... How many damn showers do you need, brother? Wes says his bathtub is 20 gallons. Is that normal size? I have a small one, but we don't take baths here. 10 baths a day. We don't take baths here. We do showers. Because, yeah, a bath uses up some water. But you get to take a bath if you want to. I was just saying, 22 gallons a day for one person is a fucking lot. I think I would have to do some more math a minute. I don't know. I can't remember. I get all OCD and bust out the calculator on fucked up shit like that, like how much water my wash machine uses, how much I use. Basically, guesstimate when I'm doing dishes, right? How much we drink ourselves, use for a shower. Yeah, washing machines, exactly. Wes says he's naked most of the time. I wish I could be. I hate clothes. I'm pretty much nude from the waist down right now. Maybe I shouldn't say that. James over there laughing. James, this is like... James, are you laughing at... You see that? It says USSR on the See, I told you guys they're getting down. They're going to fucking start getting down. All right. I'm going to disappear a second, and I'm going to see if there's any other angles. I could only find two feeds last night, but... And they were both cameras were pretty close to each other. I mean, look at those Roman candles. They're like 5-footers or something. It's like, yeah, and then you get some of that. They burned about 10 of those garbage cans. They had about 10 of them lined across the street, right where they are. Again, tonight, or very close to it. They burned them right in the street. Well, because the stormtroopers came, eventually made it down their way, but... I was already thinking that through a minute ago, that maybe I was too hard on Wes. Maybe he isn't an excessive water user at 22 gallons a day. I guess it depends on what you do. Well, average, I suppose, right? That is, but I'm a fucking Dutchman, Wes. I'm making eyedropper last me a month. A month, dude. A 31-day month. I tell you what. Nobody needs to be hard, but there isn't nothing wrong with being a little bit tough. And I'm sure Wes is not soft. He understands. Growing up in Jersey, he knows how and when to stand strong, I'm sure, but man, I lived some rough moments as a kid with Mom, I'm telling you. We had some tight times, me and Mrs. V raising our kids. I said it before, I live humbly, you guys. I really do. And then I look around and think, I could live, when I see with a lot of folks, a majority of folks in this world have compared to what I have, and I say I live humbly, I still usually walk away from that thought feeling a little guilty. Like I could be more humble. Could live much more modestly. I mean, for fuck's sake, I'm sitting here in front of a bunch of electronics right now that have been running for hours at a time for absolutely no purpose whatsoever, except for to entertain my selfish self. Maybe you guys. I'm not moving to Florida, Wes. If you want your fucking yard mowed, you're going to have to move up here. I didn't have a plan, and I don't know if I have regrets about that. I realized that things could be a little bit different. I guess easier. I wouldn't say better, because better is all about optimism, right? Well, in my situation, I guess. I mean, I'm not going hungry, so. But I lived life. I could have been more responsible and planned for the future in different, better ways, I suppose. But I'm also not jonesing to go on vacation every year or nothing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, folks that enjoy splurging and, you know, worked hard and earned it and all that good stuff. It's not me. Like, I lived so much of my life, as small as it was, stage as it was, on stage, right? Playing in bars constantly for 8 years. Working for companies like Hooters, where it was just, you were always in the public eye. Customer service. I just have always been right there in the mix, and once I stopped playing and got away from back to work for the family business in the early 2000s, it was, I'm very content being right the fuck away from people. I hope that don't sound too bad. I enjoy speaking with folks, and not getting too mixed up. Not being right in it physically anymore. I'm too old. Hold the line. Wes says his son is failing now at 30. Guess he wants my stuff when I die. Well, you got to give it to somebody. Can I ask you how many kids you have, Wes? I can tell by yapping with you that you are, you know, you are genuinely concerned. It's a tough call, right? I was a pretty liberal dad, but there were just a couple things that I was pretty adamant and hardcore about, right? Like schooling. They didn't have to get perfect grades. They just it was dedication is all I wanted to see. And not like military dedication, right? But Wes says one, but I'm not claiming him. We'll see. Jay, what's up, brother? James says nobody's getting his Niners stuff. I'm taking it with me. Are any of your boys Niners fans, James? Because you know TV would appreciate it. I'm just saying, like, if you go before me, I'm just, none of that matters. It's you that I love, but would you not, you would know that your Niners content would be well looked after and appreciated. I'm just saying. Can you imagine, James, the whole studio behind me here, all decked out in Niners gear? There you go, Wes. Wes, I like that. My grandparents left their 5 kids a decent inheritance, right? There were small things that I wanted when my parents passed, and I was lucky enough to get them or have them. It's only me and my sister. Yeah. And my mom only having me and my sister, but my mom being part of having 4 siblings, and then me and Mrs. V raising 5 kids, right? Same as size family that like my mom came from. They're all doing way better in life than I did at their age, was doing at their age. So, and I did fine, so they'll be fine. And I will that's probably, for the most part, what'll end up happening, Wes. Like, if I have anything, it'll be things. It won't be no huge bank account, I doubt. But it'll be things that I want to leave to the kids. And certainly other than that, yeah, set up whatever grandkids. The problem is that I have is I only, my oldest has two youngsters, and that's our only 2 grandchildren right now. But, the rest of the kids are from, 29 to 20, so, and haven't started their families yet. So, yeah, could be a lot more grandkids coming. James says yes, all his boys are Niners fans. Good. Oh, Wes is doing a shout out to his granddaughter. That's good stuff. I like that name too, Harper. That's beautiful. I have an Isla and a Gemma. James says if they wanted dinner, they had to come to the table wearing red and gold. I'm going to leave you guys for a minute. I will be back. I'm going to go yap at Mrs. V a second, and then I'll probably come back and, yap at you guys for another minute or so. But then I may end the stream. We've already been it's like fucking 7 hours worth of streaming at least today. And who knows, maybe I'll come back up later tonight. I don't know, but I will be back in a minute. Yeah, Jay, I heard last week that you guys were going to get inundated for a while. And there's so much going on. Hopefully there was no major flooding or landslides or anything like that. So I'm glad it stopped. I know there's always fires out there that, you know, or there's always concern where there was fires when you guys do start getting heavy rain. Alcoholics run in humans. Man, I would like to keep this up, you guys, but I have to fuck off. I may be back later. I don't know. It's been a very long day. I've been up since, I don't know, 4:45 or something. And so I'm probably going to hang out with the missus and have some dinner. And then, I don't know, see how I feel. By that time, I'm sure I'll be completely fucking exhausted. As soon as I start slowing my brain down, I'm probably going to be like out of it. But just talking with you guys and all the crazy shit in the news gets me all stimulated. All right, James. I love you, brother. Give our love to Mrs. M. Yeah, I've seen, yeah. I mean, certainly had some folks in my family that like to drink more than was healthy. I had my own time where, like, I wasn't so, like, I've seen those folks that had to drink to function. I think I talked about it one night with one of the bands we opened with. Like, I'm fucking 29 years old, right? And this dude's just a couple years older than me. Like, this band we were opening for, and the guitar player was just 7 o'clock on a Saturday night, and he's fucking just getting going, you know, and he's all shaking and shit because he hasn't had a drink yet. It's like, holy... I didn't think that stuff happened to folks so fast. I mean, even if he was drinking from a young teenager, holy. I just loved to party was my problem. And I would drink until I was sick. I never passed out or blacked out, which probably wasn't a good thing, maybe. Maybe it would have saved me some wear and tear on my body had I. But I just like to party to where it just wore me right down, and then as soon as I was better, I would be right back to partying. I didn't need to drink to get through work or any of that kind of stuff. Thankfully. Like, I never had the shakes or was like, just had an overwhelming urge or desire or Jones to suck down some alcohol. I just like to party a lot. Like, I just wanted to enjoy life and have fun, and it was a little too much, but... All right, you guys, I am signing off. Be good. I appreciate y'all. Remember, do what you can. Be good to yourself. If any of you guys get... You and Wes, I don't know how far apart you are. Can you help each other out with the lawn work? Or B, just me and you. Like, stop by Wes's house and pick up a fucking leaf for him or something. He's all worked up about his yard. Well, he says he's worked up about it, but then he refuses to move to Michigan, but whatever. You know, Wes, there's no lawn care here 6 months out of the year, really. All right. You guys be good. Peace and love. TV2 out.